WABI TV5's coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you by Coldstream Healthcare. Convenient professional healthcare is where you want it, when you want it. Hammond Lumber Company, with locations in Auburn, Belgrade, Fairfield, Farmington, Greenville, and Skowhegan. And by Care Development, Maine children for Maine families.
Not long ago, the Red Sox were reeling. They lost 14 of 22 heading into the All-Star break. But recently, the bats have come alive. The Red Sox are 7-3 since the break. Today, Pedro Martinez goes to battle against the best offense in baseball, the White Sox. Next. Fox 25 Sports presents Boston Red Sox baseball. Today from Fenway Park, the final game of this three-game series between the Red Sox and the Chicago White Sox. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I'm Sean McDonough. It's great to have you with us for the rubber game of this three-game series. The game is yet to be played, but there has already been plenty of news made here at Fenway this morning. The Red Sox have made a number of roster moves that come at a time when they've been playing very well. The most notable move, the designation for assignment of Mike Stanley. In essence, they have released him today. The Red Sox have also sent Morgan Burkhart and John Wasden down to Pawtucket. Their spots on the roster taken by Sean Berry, a 34-year-old veteran, called up from Pawtucket today, and Rod Beck activated from the disabled list to take Wasden's spot on the pitching staff. I'm joined as always by Jerry Remy. Jerry, what do you make of the maneuvering?
Well, first of all, with Mike Stanley, I think you look back when he was playing, he was having difficulty hitting the fastball. That's what the Red Sox saw. That's why they put him on the DL, and that's why they're going to release him. But I think he may hook on with somebody else. If not, he's certainly going to be someday a player, a manager, or a coach in the big leagues. There's no question about that. And he's going to be missing the Red Sox dugout because they are guys in that clubhouse, the young players, the veteran players, that go to him for advice, and he's certainly going to be missed. Not going to be a popular move with the team. Sean Berry called up because they had to make a move with him. He'll probably play some third base for the Red Sox, maybe some first base. He's been around a little bit, not too much success recently. We'll see how it goes with the Red Sox, but there are going to be a lot of moves, I think, Sean, between now and July 31st.
And with all of the maneuvering, Izzy Alcantara survives, and there will be an Izzy sighting here at the ballpark today as he is in the starting lineup as the designated hitter. He'll be taking his swings against Mike Soroka, who's had an excellent season for Chicago. He's won 6 of his last 9 starts, and right now he's 10th in the American League in earned run average. His opposite number 1 in the American League in ERA, Pedro Martinez at 10-3, despite the fact the Red Sox haven't scored many runs for him. First pitch from Fenway Park right after this. Boston Red Sox baseball. Fenway Park on another spectacular day in America's greatest city. The Red Sox now taking the field before another sellout crowd as they get ready to take on the White Sox, who still own the best record in baseball, even after the Red Sox win yesterday. The White Sox are 61-36. Their lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. They have the second baseman Ray Durham leading off. Jose Valentin back in the starting lineup, shortstop. Frank Thomas is the DH hitting third. Maglio Ordonez, who's driven in 11 runs in 7 games against the Red Sox this season, the right fielder and cleanup hitter. Paul Konerko, the first baseman. Chris Singleton, the center fielder, will hit 6th. Carlos Lee is again the left fielder. Herbert Perry once again plays third base. And Mark Johnson will get the start behind the plate, and he'll take his swings against Pedro Martinez.
Pedro at 10-3 on the season, the 1.49 ERA, number 1 in the league, ahead of Matt Suzuki, who's at 3.57. Pedro with 162 strikeouts ahead of Chuck Finley, and opponents only hitting 167. That is the toughest to hit in the American League. A winner last time out against Montreal. 8 innings in that ball game, 5 hits, and only the 1 run, 3 walks, and had 12 strikeouts against the Expos. And he is 4-2 in his career against Chicago, facing them for the first time this season.
And many believe he's baseball's best pitcher, facing the lineup that has been best in the majors this year. The White Sox lead the majors with 605 runs scored, averaging 6.2 per game. The defense behind Pedro this afternoon, trying to run down balls hit by Frank Thomas and the other White Sox. Troy O'Leary in left field, Darren Lewis in center. Bernard Gilkey makes the start in right. Ed Sprague is the third baseman. He'll be the cleanup hitter today for the Red Sox. Nomar Garcia-Parra at short. Manny Alexander once again at second base. Brian Daubach at first, and Jason Varitek is behind the plate. Just a day off for Carl Everett.
Leading off,
Brian O'Nora, the home plate umpire. Dan Iasonia at first. Mark Hirschbeck at second. Wally Bell at third. Partly cloudy afternoon. Another delightful day as Ray Durham stands in the leadoff. Second baseman hitting .289. He's a switch hitter. 13 homers and 53 runs batted in. Pedro's first pitch is a ball high. Change up, and Durham missed it. 1 ball and 1 strike. An absolutely perfect 78 degrees at game time. Breeze out of the west southwest at 12 miles per hour. The first pitch was at 107. Outfield around toward left for Durham.
Here we go. The umpire, Brian O'Nora, telling Durham to get in the box. They have that line that he's rubbed out, and well, it's a lot of these hitters like to stand in the back of the box. And he's out of the box.
Yes, he is. We've discussed many times now in the past that foot has to be either entirely on the line or inside the line. No part of the foot can be outside the line at all when you take your position in the batter's box. Fly ball to center. Darren Lewis drifts back and makes the catch. Well, Durham's out. Interesting, no Carl Everett in the starting lineup today. Trot Nixon is here. He's finished his rehab assignment. There's speculation now he'll be activated tomorrow. He was not activated for today, but I think when a lot of us saw Trot here and saw Everett not in the lineup, there was speculation that Everett might begin serving his suspension today, but that has not happened.
Not the case. Just getting a day off by Jimmy Williams, and we'll have to see what happens tomorrow when Trot Nixon probably does get activated for the Red Sox.
Trot not activated today, perhaps in part because the left-hander Sorotka is going for the White Sox. Jose Valentin, the batter, he flied out as a pinch hitter last night to make the last out of the ball game. 271 in his first year with the White Sox for Valentin. 15 homers and 57 runs batted in. And a big boost to their offense. He's had a tough time defensively at shortstop. He hits a pop-up for Daubach in fair territory. 2 outs.
Looking down here at the third base coach, Sean, for the White Sox, and he is really standing out of the box. As a matter of fact, to a spot where he can get a good look in at the signs from Jason Varitek. If I were the Red Sox, I would probably complain about that a little bit. Now, it's difficult with a right-handed hitter at the plate, but with those lefties, you can look right into the signs, and they could have something going between he and the hitters.
Wally Bell, the third base umpire, came up and said something to Wallace Johnson, but he hasn't moved. He's almost in fair territory standing there. Frank Thomas, the hitter, he looked at strike 1. Frank back like the Frank Thomas of old at 340. 9th in the American League in batting average. He's 3rd in homers with 29. Tied with Troy Gloss behind Carlos Delgado's 32 and Tony Batista's 30. He's now 3 behind Edgar Martinez for the American League RBI lead. 90 runs batted in for Thomas, who took a change up for strike 2, 1 and 2. Pedro trying to put the finishing touches on a 1-2-3 first. And Thomas hits it very high, but not very deep. Garcia-Parra in shallow left. The 1-2-3 first for Pedro. After a half inning, the White Sox nothing. The Red Sox coming up. You're watching the Fox 25 Red Sox television network. Their 50th win of the season yesterday. They're 50 and 44 and just a game out of first behind the Yankees in the American League East. The lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Darren Lewis, the center fielder, leads off. Brian Daubach, the first baseman. Nomar Garcia-Parra, the shortstop, at number 3 hitter today. With Ed Sprague on a hot streak, a 6-game hitting streak against the lefty. He'll be the cleanup hitter today and play third base. Troy O'Leary, the left fielder. Izzy Alcantara, the DH, bats 6th. Jason Varitek will do the catching. Bernard Gilkey, the right fielder, bats 8th, and the second baseman Manny Alexander swings 9th against the veteran left-hander Mike Soroka.
Very good season for Soroka, 9-7, but a 3.98 ERA. That is 10th best in the league. Soroka winner last time out against the Milwaukee Brewers. Pitched a great game, 8 innings, only 6 hits and 1 earned run. In his career against the Red Sox, he is 2-3 with a win this season.
The center fielder, Darren Lewis.
Here's Darren Lewis starting in center field and leading off against the lefty. Darren hitting .243, a homer, and 9 runs batted in. Lewis, Daubach, and Garcia-Parra. High chopper. The third baseman Perry had to retreat and throw while falling back. A good play. 1 out. Lewis is retired, and here comes Brian Daubach.
Second, number 23,
the first baseman.
Brian.
275 average for Daubach, 15 homers and 58 runs batted in. He's hit safely in the last 3 and in 8 of his last 10. He turned as if to bunt. Soroka nearly threw the fastball past the catcher Mark Johnson. It's interesting, and Team Durham was instructed to have his back foot in the batter's box. It looks like Daubach is out of the back side of the batter's box right now. Clearly he is. Sends that into right center. In for a hit. Does it hit well enough to get through the gap? No, but Daubach's going to try for 2. The throw from Ordonez got past Valentine. Hit the umpire and then deflected to Herbert Perry, and Daubach winds up at second base. And Valentine been able to steer that throw. Looked like Daubach was going to be a dead duck.
Yeah, again, Ordonez out there, very good outfielder, makes a terrific throw to second base, but the shortstop can't handle it. They have Daubach if he makes the catch on this. The short hop looked like he took his eye off it to see exactly where Daubach was and then applied a tag, but didn't have the baseball.
Well, it's a double for Daubach. Looks like it's always an adventure when Brian is running the base paths. And here's Nomar Garcia-Parra, leading the majors in hitting at .395. He takes a ball down and in. Got off an 0-for-2 start yesterday and turned it into a 2-for-4 day. He raised his average up to .395, 13 homers and 58 runs batted in. Second baseman Durham almost directly behind second base with Daubach the runner there. Not the huge hole you'd expect to see on the right side because the first baseman Konerko is way off the line. Nomar with a 14-point lead over Darren Erstad. Right now it's a 2-man race for the American League batting title. 2-0 pitch is on the corner, 2 balls and a strike.
I don't think they expect Daubach to run, but by holding him close like that, any kind of base hit to left field, you may not score here at Fenway.
No score. The Red Sox threatening in the first, and ball 3 is inside to Garcia-Parra. Ed Sprague is on deck. Wilson on the right side. Durham snares it. Looked like Nomar was trying to take advantage of that space on the right side of the infield, but didn't get it quite far enough away from Durham, so Nomar's out and Dahlbach's at third with 2 down.
Even the outs Nomar is hitting recently have been hit right on the button. That ball hit hard by Garcia Parra, but a couple of steps to the left is Ray Durham. And they pick up the second out.
Here's Ed Sprague against the lefty, and with his recent hot streak, he's moved up to the cleanup spot in the batting order today. A 6-game hitting streak for Sprague. Got his average above 200 with the Red Sox, 203. A homer and 6 runs batted in. He's 8 for his last 23. That's a 348 clip. Johnson sets up inside. They did jam Sprague, who fisted it to short. Valentin to Konerko. The Red Sox leave a runner at third in the first inning. After 1 at Fenway, no score.
There's never been an easier time to celebrate the freedom of driving a Ford Focus than during the Ford Authorized Clearance. You can lease a Focus ZX3 loaded with incredible features for just $199 a month for 36 months. And it's all happening now at your New England Ford dealer. I just wanna celebrate, yeah. Lease a new Focus ZX3 for only $199 a month.
He caught more games and hit more home runs than any catcher in Major League history. He was an 11-time All-Star, a unanimous Rookie of the Year. And while he didn't invent the wave, he certainly perfected it. Join MasterCard and the Boston Red Sox as baseball's newest Hall of Fame inductee has his number retired at Fenway Park. MasterCard and the Red Sox present Carlton Fisk Day, Monday, September 4th. For tickets, call today or log on to redsox.com.
Only one can be the best. To get there takes strength, speed, and endurance.
One athlete's foot medicine has it all. Lamisil AT.
Strength.
Full prescription strength to stop the itching and burning. These take 4 weeks of treatment. Lamisil AT cures it with just 1. 3 months later, you're still athlete's foot free.
Game over.
The official athlete's foot treatment of the NBA, Lamisil AT. The best way to cure athlete's foot.
Tonight at 8 on Fox 25, Ay Caramba. Homer Simpson gets laser eye surgery with shocking results on The Simpsons. Then at 8:30, to become a rollerblade champ, Malcolm will learn from the top skate dog, his father. On Malcolm in the Middle, it all starts tonight at 8 on Fox 25. Wallace Johnson apparently being instructed perhaps to move a little closer to the coach's box.
For Chicago.
That's kind of what we were talking about, Sean. I think the Red Sox have kind of suspected this. Who knows if it's true or not. But, you know, anytime a coach gets in that position, it's obviously a pretty good way to look at signs. And in particular with left-handers at the plate, you don't know if that's happening or not. But I think Jimmy Williams warned the umpire about it, and they've talked to Wallace Johnson. Looks like he's moved over a little bit on the grass.
Aglio Ordonez, the batter, hitting .331. 1 strike to count, and now a ball rides up and in. Ordonez has 23 homers and 82 runs batted in. He's hit in 7 straight games. Off the end of the bat, shallow right, Gilkey. 4 up and 4 down against Martinez. Well, the White Sox have long had the reputation through many managers of being a team that will try very hard to steal signs, and most of that seems to center around Joe Nosek, who's been a coach for the White Sox for a long time, and the bench coach since 1991.
He's supposed to be one of the best in the business, according to everybody in the league. I think everybody'd like to have him in their dugout.
He's been with the White Sox since 1984 as a coach, survived a number of managerial changes. Konerko looked at strike 1. He's hitting .301 with 12 home runs. He's driven in 61. 1 out, the base is empty in the second, no score. Fastball missed down and away. Pedro hasn't really unleashed the fastball yet at full velocity. That one 91 miles per hour, and he's throwing his hardest. He's typically in the mid-90s. Looked pretty good, but called the ball. 2-1 on Konerko, who is still looking for his first hit in this series. He came in riding a 13-game hitting streak, the longest of his career. But that ended on Friday night, and he went 0 for 3, and he went 0 for 4 yesterday. A nifty breaking ball dropped right over the heart of the plate. 2-2. There's so much attention now on the batter's box. He's out of the batter's box. Way out. Way up on the hands of Konerko. Got the ball and threw it back to Pedro.
That's always a dream of a hitter, you know, to get hit by a pitch and somehow get a handle on, just throw it right back to the pitcher.
So Konerko's hit by the pitch. Kind of trapped it up against his chest and threw it back to Pedro.
Batting six, number
That's 12 now that Pedro has hit this season, which leads the American League in that category. You know, we see a lot of guys in the back of the box, and obviously when you're facing power pitches, guys that throw hard, you see a number of players try to do that. Go back in the box as deep as you can possibly go. He cut his chin.
Truly was some chin music then, I guess. After it hit him on the hand, it looked like it just bounced up and hit him on the chin.
Yeah, if it hit the chin first, he'd probably have a little more difficult time getting down to first base. This is a little bit like hockey now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Stitch him up, put a Band-Aid on it, let's go.
Didn't look like much of a cut. That's a pretty good sized Band-Aid.
It's the end of the road trip. Maybe that's all that's available to train him.
So the White Sox have their first base runner with one out here in the second in a scoreless game. As Chris Singleton did not play yesterday as Jeff Abbott got the start in center field. 262 for Singleton. 7 homers and 42 runs batted in. I'm going to miss it. The changeup. Singleton did start in center field on Friday night. Went 2 for 5. Stole the base and scored a run. And he's been hot lately. Hitting .333 over his last 8 games. Carlos Lee on deck. Going 2 now on Singleton. Baba is holding Konerko at first. Paul has not attempted a stolen base this year. A little lob could be a problem. It is a base hit. Fielded by Lewis in left center. A hit batsman and a bloop hit. The first hit for Chicago, and the White Sox are threatening here in the second with 2 men on and 1 out.
Looked like the cut fastball this time from Pedro, and the inside out swing will drop it over the head of Nomar Garcia-Parra.
Number 45.
A couple of guys on the hit bat and a base hit. The White Sox say they're looking forward to this challenge against Pedro. They have been the best offensive ball club in the American League, and they like to throw the best against the best, and they were upset when they missed him, I think, in Chicago.
Carlos Lee took a strike at the knees. He's had a good series. 4 for 7. 4 runs scored, raising his average to 295, 18 homers and 66 runs batted in. With 2 hits in each of the first 2 games of this series after coming in 3 for his previous 23. Well, the White Sox are playing with confidence now, a little bit of a swagger. They certainly believe in themselves. They had a lot of doubters very deep into the season, but I think they have silenced all the skeptics now. I mean, this kind of a record with this kind of production this deep into the season. The 0-2 pitch. He struck him out into the high heat. That might be the liveliest fastball we've seen from Pedro so far. 94. They tend to be a bit firmer when they're upstairs like that. 2 down.
Not many times do we go this deep into a game in the second inning before you see a strikeout from Pedro, but he gets Carlos Lee to chase that high pitch. Picked up his first of the afternoon.
The opposition 6 for 77 now against Pedro. The runners in scoring position this season. Over the entire season, he's given up 6 hits with men in scoring position. Herbert Perry the batter. Waiting ball for a strike. The third baseman hitting .309. 6 homers and 27 runs batted in. He's had 1 hit in each of the first 2 games in this series. 2 for 8. He's batting with Konerko at second and Singleton at first. Foul ball, and Pedro has the count in his favor. No balls and 2 strikes. Perry picked up off waivers from Tampa Bay, and he is taking a firm grasp of their third base job now, starting for the 22nd time in the last 26 games. And one another Pedro punch out to end the inning and the threat. The 0-2 pitch. He wouldn't chase it. Bender just off the outside corner. The 1-2 pitch. He struck him out. And Bender did catch the outside corner. Back-to-back strikeouts for Pedro. And they're posting the K's now in the bleachers. After an inning and a half, no score. You're watching the Fox 25 Red Sox television network.
Please report to the customer service booth.
At Viking Lumber, we're a little old-fashioned.
Old-fashioned? What do you mean old-fashioned? We have many modern products. And state-of-the-art technology, too.
I'm talking about old-fashioned neighbor-to-neighbor service.
Oh, well, that's different.
Marvin Windows and Doors are part of Viking's old-fashioned service. Marvin, the professional's choice for building, design, and remodeling projects.
Viking Lumber in Belfast, Lincolnville, Vinyl Haven, and Warren. Call us old-fashioned.
And we'll say thanks.
McDonald Footwear in Skowhegan makes custom footwear in 9 widths from sizes 5 to 18. And if you have problem feet, McDonald Footwear now has an orthotic computerized custom insole machine for ultimate comfort, performance, and fit. Custom hand-sewn shoes and custom insoles for your feet.
McDonald shoes look good. They've lasted for 7 years, and I wouldn't go anyplace else to buy shoes. And it's custom made for my foot.
McDonald Footwear in Skowhegan. Shoes made the old-fashioned way, 1 stitch at a time.
University of Maine Black Bear football returns to TV5 Sports this fall with our first game September 16th at 7 p.m. WABI TV5, your local television sports leader.
Fenway, no scores. We move to the bottom of the second inning. Well, Red Sox fans come to Fenway Park on Saturday, August 5th, when the Red Sox take on the Kansas City Royals. The first 12,000 fans, 15 and under, receive an exclusive collectible Team Beans plush mini bear sporting the classic Red Sox home uniform with Pedro's name and number on the back, courtesy of Conn's Fenway Franks.
My birthday weekend, I'm here to see the Red Sox with Sean and Jerry. That's a haiku. Apparently in a good seat there, too. That looked like one of those boxes, didn't it?
That's her birthday, and it's also Nomar's birthday.
Nomar's birthday today, yeah. Troy O'Leary, the batter, against Mike Sorotka. 1-1 the count, no score. Red Sox left a man at third in the first inning. White Sox just stranded 2 in the top of the second. O'Leary up to 267. Remarkable turnaround for Troy since coming off the disabled list. And it continues day after day. That was a bullet right into the lower boxes. Fortunately, it seems that no one was struck by that wicked foul ball. 7-game hitting streak for O'Leary. It will not be extended here. Soroka strikes him out and nipping the outside corner.
Not much you can do about that except admire it and head back to the dugout. Beautiful pitch by Soroka, outside corner.
Number 56, the designated hitter.
Johnson is set up. It's right in the glove, maybe off the outside edge, but certainly close enough for the home plate umpire.
Lucy Alcantara introduced to virtually no reaction. Small chorus of boos and very little applause. 400 for Izzy in very limited playing time. He's appearing in his 8th game. This was the game against the White Sox in Chicago. It got him into the mess, and it appeared he wasn't giving an all-out effort. And since then, it's been apparent that Jimmy Williams is very reluctant to play him. Two balls a strike.
Started a game at DH on the last homestand and picked up a couple of hits in that ball game.
Broken back to Hooper. That's going to drop. Alcantara has the Red Sox second hit. A rip single in the left center.
Broken bat, base hit. That ball hit him right on the label of the bat, and all he's got is a handle as he runs down to first base. But the bat goes out in glory with a hit.
Alcantara hasn't played much, but what he has generally come up with at least one hit. He's now hit safely in 7 of the 8 games in which he has played. Jason Varitek is the batter. Right off the end of the bat, a squibber foul past Tommy Harper in the first base coach's box. Varitek hitting .270, the switch hitting catcher with 6 homers and 39 runs batted in. He's back in a little bit of a drought now, 4 for his last 27 after an 0 for 3 yesterday. 0 for 7 in the series. He takes a ball low. Mike Sorotka, part of what has been a very effective starting rotation for Chicago. Led by James Baldwin and Cal Eldred, who's now on the disabled list. Both already in double digits in wins. Eldred with 10 and Baldwin with 12. And Sorotka has a chance to pick up his 10th today. Jim Parquet, who's been a member of their starting rotation throughout the season, 9 and 3. They're solid 1 through 4, and we're hoping that one of these youngsters might step in and give them a solid 5th starter as well.
You know, that's solid 1 through 4. You've got a pretty good pitching staff.
Varitek hits it slowly on the ground on the right. Durham a long way to get it. Low throw scooped out by Konerko. 2 outs. Alcantara now at second base.
Once again, nice range shown there by Ray Durham, the second baseman. Had to go a long way
Batting
to make that play on Jason Varitek.
The right fielder.
Back toward the outfield grounds to increase the range, and then spins around and makes that throw to first base. Nice pick by Konerko with his Band-Aid.
Here's Bernard Gilkey. Has not appeared in this series. He chops one foul off his foot. Bernard at 286 since joining the Red Sox, 6 for 21 with a homer and 4 runs batted in. 3 of those 6 hits came in his Red Sox debut on July 4th in Minnesota. And 4 runs batted in that game. All 4 of the Red Sox ribbies in that game against the Twins. Chance for another one here with a man in scoring position. He takes the ball down and away. No score. Bottom of the second. Alcantara at second base. 2 outs. The 1-1 to Gilkey is another broken bat. Bounced down to third to Perry. He throws to Konerko. And the Red Sox are finished in the second. After 2 no score, you're watching the Fox 25 Red Sox television network.
Tools and equipment. Contractors and industry owe their livelihood to them. That's why when the pros rent, they count on J-Rent. From tillers to tampers, lifts and loaders, stump grinders and steam cleaners, to chippers and sweepers, J-Rent has the right tool for the job. With 35 years in the construction business, the folks at J-Rent know you expect clean, reliable, ready-to-run equipment, and J-Rent delivers. Whether you're the contractor who needs to bring the job in on time or the do-it-yourselfer demanding professional results, you can count on J-Rent.
Keeping up with Maine's changing weather means keeping up with today's changing technology. WABI TV5 is the only station in Maine with the new Genesis Live Line, today's most advanced and easy to understand weather tracking system. Street level mapping brings satellite information down to earth and into your home, while Futurecast gives you the most accurate extended forecast possible. TV5's new forecast center combines state-of-the-art technology with the people who know how to use it. Jeff Matthews and Bill Cairns, only on WABI TV5.
Red Sox baseball continues on the Fox 25 Red Sox network from Fenway Park. Rubber game of this 3-game series. The Red Sox and White Sox scoreless heading to the third. We remind you this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Boston Red Sox and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. In addition, the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Boston Red Sox.
For Chicago, number 10, the catcher.
Red Sox rock on Fox. What are those mascots? Those aren't Wallies, are they?
Pedro dolls, I guess.
Yeah. Here's Mark Johnson. The catcher chops one weakly down to first. A nice belt-high hop for Dahlbach, who takes it himself. 1 pitch and 1 out to Pedro here in the third. Martinez has been through the batting order once and has allowed just 1 bloop hit and hit a batter. He has struck out 2.
Number 5, the second baseman, Ray.
Here's Ray Durham for the second time. He flied to center to open the ball game. Curveball in on the feet of Durham. Strike. Popped in and out of the middle of Veritek. Another weak roller on the right. This one for Alexander. 2 down. Red Sox, with their win over the White Sox yesterday, combined with losses by the Yankees and Blue Jays, they picked up a game on both of their rivals, sparring for position atop the American League East.
Number 22.
Red Sox now, even with the Yankees in the win column, 1 game out. Blue Jays are a game and a half back. Toronto is hosting Baltimore today. And the Yankees are hosting Tampa Bay. Brian Ricard and Denny Nagel, the pitching matchup at Yankee Stadium. Mike Messina and Frank Castillo at Skydome. Jose Valentin popped out to the first baseman Daubach in the first. Pops one back here. Denny Nagel certainly provided the Yankees with an immediate boost. And he was acquired last week. Helton won his first game as a Yankee in very impressive fashion.
Well, the Nagel move certainly a good one. The Justice move, I believe, a good one. I'm not so sure about Glenn Allen Hill. He may help a little bit facing some left-handed pitchers.
Yankees and Tampa Bay are scoreless after 2 innings at the stadium. Good changeup. Valentin way out in front of that one. 1-2.
A lot of off-speed pitches for Pedro in the early innings. Change-ups and curveball.
One-two pitch fouled away. Now at the end of the bat of Valentin. Struck him out. It's a 10-pitch inning for Martinez. 3 strikeouts now for Pedro. We go to the bottom of the third, no score.
Celebrate all of life's little adventures with style, not to mention with big savings during the Ford authorized clearance. Now, lease a loaded Explorer for $299 a month for 36 months from your New England Ford dealer. Ford Explorer with 4-wheel drive and the most powerful standard V6 in its class. I just want to celebrate. Yeah. Now, lease a Ford Explorer for only $299 a month.
As a baseball fan, you may already think the new Red Sox ballpark project is a good idea, but consider this. A study commissioned by the Greater Boston Chamber of Commerce and the Greater Boston Convention and Visitors Bureau found that the new ballpark project will generate over $204.5 million every year in new spending for the Massachusetts economy, creating thousands of new jobs. The new ballpark project. Let's get it done now. To help, log on to redsox.com.
You've always trusted us with your letters, your bills, your packages. Now, we're bringing the security and confidence of the real world into the virtual one. Introducing the U.S. Postal Service's e-bill pay. It lets you receive, pay, and send your bills online with the service you already know and trust. And this is just the start.
Like an eagle into the future.
Tonight on Fox 25 News at 10, plunge below the surface into the cold water in search of adventure. Looking for a challenge, excitement, a bit of the unknown. Fox 25 takes you diving in New England. Go in search of deep sea adventures tonight on Fox 25 News at 10. One strike on Manny Alexander, the number 9 hitter, beginning the 3rd inning for the Red Sox in a scoreless game against Mike Soroka. He drops in the breaking ball. 0-2. Manny hitting .202, a homer and 9 runs batted in. Jose Offerman's knee still bothering him a little bit. Jeff Fry recovering nicely now from the back problem, so Alexander in there at second base today. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Have you ever gone deep sea diving?
No, I have not, no.
Well, doesn't it seem to you, as every night we promote this, and then we watch, of course, Fox 25 News at 10, there's a very interesting feature every night. You tune in to Fox 25 News at 10, you're going to see something interesting like deep sea diving.
You know, I watched last night, I watched that thing they had in the spy camp. That's quite a thing.
Yes, it is.
Very expensive to go to for a weekend, but you learn a lot about being a spy.
You're going to put it into practice? Konerko over by the dugout, 1 out.
I don't have that kind of money to throw around for, you know, like a 3-day weekend. I think it was like $4 grand or something for the weekend.
You don't have the money. Whatever. You do 196 games a year, for crying out loud.
Also paying for college.
Well, that's true. Darren.
Be a long time before you have the money.
They won't be waiting for you at the door of Spy Camp anytime soon. Darren Lewis grounded to third his first time up. One out here in the third, no score. I wonder if John Wilson, our director, is in that feature. He has done a lot of diving. He goes down, you know, the tropics and dives.
The fish scatter down below when he.
Oh yeah. There's a strike as Lewis turned to bunt, 1-1. Here comes Jerry. Oh, just off to our right over by the Catman.
Cat made an effort at it. He really did.
There's Joe Castiglione. How about that shirt?
Yeah,
now, Joe has two standards. It's either ugly or it's free. And today the shirt is both.
That's free. And ugly.
The All-Star logo from last year. And the camera can't even handle it. You saw the camera bouncing. You didn't even want to focus on that shirt. But Joe got that shirt last year in the All-Star game. Lewis pops a foul out of play. And, of course, it was a memorable event that he broadcast. He did the play-by-play over the PA system of the game involving the mascots. You know, Fred Bird and, you know, the Oriole Bird, all the mascots convened here and had a rousing game, and Joe called it with remarkable flair and got a shirt for his efforts. Fastball just missed. At least it wasn't from the 1991 All-Star game like the overcoat we saw yesterday that had the 1991 pocket schedule in it.
That coat was old in 91.
It was very old, and it was at the end of its career, or at least should have been, in 91. Ryan Dahlbach on deck, one out. Bases empty, third inning. Pitcher's duel, as you might expect, between Martinez and Soroka. Lewis takes the ball low. Soroka doesn't walk many. That's the first he has yielded today.
Number 23, the first baseman, Brian Dahlbach.
Here's Brian Dahlbach. Doubles into the gap in right center. And was in the first. He wound up being stranded at third. Soroka checks on Lewis. Dahlbach pulls one, foul. And he needs a new bat. If you joined us late, we mentioned the maneuvering done by the Red Sox organization before the game this morning. Mike Stanley designated for assignment. In essence, that means he's been given his release. Morgan Burkhart and John Washington sent to Pawtucket. Sean Berry called up from Pawtucket. Rod Beck activated from the disabled list. And there are rumors of still more moves. One prominent rumor today, Rico Brogna, the first baseman from the Phillies, might be the object of Red Sox interest in a trade. Smooth fielding first baseman, one of the best fielders among first basemen in baseball, who's developed into a very good hitter the last few years.
Also heard the name of Ron Gant being thrown around a few times.
Strike, good pitch by Soroka. Dahlbach in the hole, 0-2. We have continued to search for reasons why Izzy Alcantara is still here and why he has survived all these weeks now. And it seems apparent Jimmy Williams doesn't want to play him, but perhaps it's just to include him in a deal with another team. In the Phillies case, there have been reports that they may have some interest in Alcantara.
Well, a couple of things. First of all, he's out of options. Those options he used up when he was with the Montreal Expos. And there's been talk about possibly Japan.
Red Sox have sold a number of players to Japan in recent years. It does seem a little bit magnified today when they let go a player who admittedly had not played very well in Stanley, but who was very well liked by his teammates. And then you have the case of Alcantara, who did not start out well with his mates with that lack of hustle performance in Chicago. And many have wondered privately in the clubhouse, why is he still here? Dahlbacher rips one up the middle off the glove of Durham. Everybody's safe. Dahlbach has his second hit in as many at-bats. Lewis to second, first and second, and 1 out.
Well, that's twice now that Dahlbach has really hit the ball hard against the left-handed pitcher. And believe me, Surratt is tough on lefties. Nice effort by Durham. He knocks it down, but Lewis will make second. Dahlbach will make third. A double and a single now for Dahlbach. Hangs in there real good against the lefty. You can see that front shoulder right on the baseball. No give at all. And that's the reason he can hit the ball hard like that.
Now Nomar Garcia-Parra celebrating his 27th birthday. He came up in the first inning and grounded to second. Looked like he was intentionally trying to hit it through a big hole that he had on the right side in that at bat and just got it a little bit too close to Ray Durham. He fouled the first one away for strike 1.
You talk, Sean, about Stanley being released. From a manager's point of view, to have to tell him that, that's got to be tough. Because you know Jimmy Williams loves him.
Sure.
As everybody in that clubhouse.
He's about as universally well liked as anybody that we've been around. Well liked and respected. I guess that's a dilemma for an organization, Jerry. Do you keep a guy around really just because that has become his role? Because in terms of his productivity on the field, he hadn't done very much. He had one little hot streak there where he had a lot of home runs in a bunch, but other than that, he hadn't done much.
I think what happens is when you get a little bit older and you start not hitting the fastball, and that seemed to be the case. Now, whether an injury caused that or not, I don't know. But that certainly was happening, and I still think somebody's going to take him. I think somebody feels that maybe he can help him, and it'd be a good team, a team that has a chance to win something.
The ball on the count of 2-1. Soroka turned it over and missed, blown away.
And nobody's going to trade for him because then you've got to give up something. Well, you wait the 10 days, and then you can just sign him.
The 2-1 to Nomar. Chopped down in front of the plate. Soroka off the mound, goes to first for the out. Nomar had the count in his favor, didn't chase a very good pitch there. The runners do move up. Now 2 men in scoring position with 2 outs.
Number 44, the third baseman.
Every time Pedro Martinez starts a game for the Red Sox, they have a tough time scoring runs. Ed Sprague will try to get him on the board here. Ed came up with a runner at third and 2 outs in the first inning and grounded to short. Got the 2 men in scoring position now. Tried to pull the pitch away and chopped it foul.
Talking about those runs, ever since an 8-0 win by the Red Sox, and that was back in May. 3-2, 2-0, 3-0, 2-1, 3-0, 6-5, 4-3, and 3-1 have been the scores of the games that he's been involved in.
The Red Sox have scored a total of 20 runs in his last 8 starts. Speed pitch had Sprague out in front. Soroka trying to get out of the jam. His 0-2 pitch is high. Soroka is 29 years old. graduate of Louisiana State University, the best baseball program in the country the last decade. Spread the deep short. Valentin throws him out. The Red Sox leave 2 more in scoring position. They've left 4 men on, all of them left in scoring position. No score. You're watching the Fox 25 Red Sox Network.
Do you just assume that big boxes are better than little boxes? That the massive big box building suppliers are less expensive than a little box main family business like Hammond Lumber? Well, the Hammond folks will deliver absolutely free. And they will design your project if you order from them also for free. And Hammond's tools and supplies are priced right every day. In short, when you look inside a little box like Hammond Lumber, you just might be surprised.
What's important to me is to be able to share my vision as an educator and an artist. Working for MBNA, I can share my insight, create an exciting environment, and inspire people to see their potential. To capture a feeling and share it with others, that's what's important to me.
What's important to you? MBNA New England. For career opportunities, call 1-888-473-MBNA.
You don't need to drive a great distance for your family's health care. Coldstream Healthcare is just around the corner. Coldstream Healthcare serves the Howland and Lincoln area Monday through Friday 7 to 6 and Saturdays 8 to noon. Scheduling your annual and physical exams, vaccinations, or follow-up care is convenient and easy. Walk in for emergency care or any common illness. Plus, Coldstream Healthcare offers on-site laboratory services. Convenient quality healthcare is where you want it, when you want it. Coldstream Healthcare in West Enfield.
Scoreless through 3 innings. We go to the 4th now. The Red Sox battling the White Sox. We check the scoreboard, brought to you by your friendly New England Dodge dealers. Tampa Bay and the Yankees still scoreless at the stadium. They're now in the 4th inning. Brian Ricard and Denny Nagel matching zeros. The Blue Jays got a run in the 1st. They lead Baltimore 1-0 now in the top of the 3rd. Mike Messina against Frank Castillo. The Royals got 3 in the 1st at Detroit. They lead 3-0 after an inning. Stein against Moeller. In just a few moments, the Indians are in Minnesota. Burba against Radke. The Angels will take on the Athletics later this afternoon. Hill against Mulder. And the Rangers and Mariners play in Seattle. Helling against Garcia. Martinez throws a strike to Frank Thomas, who popped to short to end the 1st. Just 1 hit for Chicago through the first 3 innings. Bloop hit by Chris Singleton. Single into center in the 2nd. Thomas tried to check his swing at the high and tight fastball. It's 0-2. The big boppers coming up for Chicago against Martinez, Thomas, Ordonez, and Konerko. That one's fouled right over by Ed Brickley in the public address booth. Strike 3, into the changeup, and froze Frank Thomas. 4 strikeouts now for Pedro.
Beautiful changeup here by Pedro. It comes back to the outside corner. He's got a couple of strikeouts on the changeup, 1 on the curveball and 1 on the fastball.
Right fielder, Maglio Ordonez.
Maglio Ordonez takes a strike. He flied out his first time up. Hit it to the right fielder, Gilkey. No score, 4th inning. Over in the National League, the Reds lead the Diamondbacks 1-0 in the 3rd on a home run by Dimitri Young, his 11th. The Phillies and Pirates played a scoreless first inning, but the Phillies have now scored 3 in the 2nd. Brewers and Cubs in just a few moments, right against Valdez. 1-2 now on Ordonez. The Cardinals take on the Astros. The Padres will battle the Rockies. The Expos and Marlins play at 4:05. Tonight, the Mets and the Braves, and the Giants and the Dodgers. Swing and a miss. That's 3 strikeouts in a row for Pedro. We got Valentin to end the 3rd, and now Thomas and Ordonez back-to-back to open this inning. 5 Ks in all for Pedro.
Take a look at the sequence of pitches against Ordonez, a guy that's really hit Pedro pretty well. He'll stay away with everything. The fastball for strike 1. A little cut fastball just misses. Fastball for strike 2. And staying outside with the cut fastball for the 3rd strike. Nothing inside, nothing out over the plate.
It's been as dynamic a tandem back-to-back as there's been in baseball, and Pedro struck them both out, but now here's Konerko with a base hit. Short hopper off the wall, so Konerko has a wall single. The second hit for Chicago, the first solid hit. He lost the Band-Aids. Apparently that cut on the chin after the ball hit him in the chest and bounced up and hit him off the chin. It wasn't a major deal.
Got a changeup too on the first pitch and hit the changeup for a base hit.
Here's Chris Singleton, who has the other hit, the bloop single into center. The out-of-town scoreboard was brought to you by your friendly New England Dodge dealers. Here at Fenway, there is no score. Top of the 4th. 2-out base runner for Chicago, and Singleton looked at a strike. Another changeup popped up by the dugout. Sprague has room and makes the catch. And that ends the inning. The White Sox strand a runner. They've left 3. No scores. We go to the bottom of the 4th at Fenway Park. No score here at Fenway Park as we go to the bottom of the 4th. The ballpark's the place to be on Sunday, August 6th. That's when the Red Sox will be hosting the Kansas City Royals. And the first 15,000 fans age 15 and under entering the ballpark that day will receive a high-gloss 3-ring binder featuring a convenient and practical pencil caddy, or as it says on the screen, a pencil pal. Compliments of Bob Stores on Sunday, August 6th. Troy O'Leary takes a breaking ball in the inside corner for strike 1. O'Leary struck out in the 2nd. The only strikeout for Mike Soroka to this point. He's worked out of a couple of jams. O'Leary sends one off the end of the bat, charging hard, and making the catch is Chris Singleton. And those are the kind that have been falling in with regularity of late for Troy, but not this time. Singleton runs well.
And doesn't really play all that deep out in center field. I saw Jeff Abbott out there yesterday who played very deep, but Singleton a little bit closer, and it gave him a chance to make this play.
Designated hitter, Izzy Alcantara.
One out, and here's Izzy Alcantara, who had a bloop single his first time up. He lets it fly and sends it foul. Nice play. Oh, and an even nicer gesture, handing the ball to the young fan a couple of rows behind. Alcantara, then Varitek. Ball low, now 2 balls and a strike. Fouled back. Let's pause for station identification on the Fox 25 Red Sox network.
You're watching Red Sox baseball on Eastern and Central Maine's local sports leader. WAPI-TV, Channel 5, Bangor.
Barry Remy, our producer. Russ Ken, director, Captain John Wilson. Associate producer, Dave Corris. Dave Baum and Bob Qua assisting us here in the booth. Mike Soroka matching zeros with Pedro Martinez to this point. He took something off and missed down and in. The count is full. There's Veritek waiting to follow. Down and in and chopped away by Alcantara. Toronto has increased its lead over Baltimore, now 3-0. The Blue Jays ahead of Mike Messina and the Orioles. They're in the fourth. And deep short, Valentine throws it into the dugout. Emil Canerco. Well, we said it earlier, Valentine has been a boost to their offense, but he's been a major reason why they're second to last in the American League in team fielding ahead of only Oakland. He's had a very tough time in the field with 25 errors now.
Yeah, he gets here in plenty of time, makes the backhand, but the throw is going to take off. And way up over the head of Canerco. That should be an error all the way on Valentine.
It is an error. So Alcantara winds up at second with one out. Let's see if the Red Sox can take advantage of the break. Veritek does. Sends it up the middle for a hit. Here comes Alcantara to the plate. Singleton's throw not in time. Jason Veritek delivers an RBI single, and the Red Sox lead 1-0.
That's interesting, Sean. I have a note on the Valentine. The White Sox are 12-6 when he commits an error. And only 11 of his 24 miscues have led to runs. Well, make that 12 now of his 25 as the base hit goes up the middle by Veritek, and Izzy will score from second base. Izzy looking down to make sure he got the corner of that third base bag. Red Sox have the 1-0 lead.
Izzy has an interesting running style. Here's Bernard Gilkey. Takes a strike. And Gilkey grounded to third to end the second inning. Over the first to check on Veritek. Timely hit for Jason, who had been scuffling a bit for his previous 28 before that base hit. The runs batted in have started to come. He now has 15 in his last 23 games. Ball low to Gilkey. 1-1. Slashing swing and a foul ball. Bernard Gilkey, 33-year-old veteran, claimed off waivers by the Red Sox from Arizona in early July. Pulls that one foul. Hit it hard. In and out of the last skybox up there. Is that still the Nesson box?
No, I don't believe it is any longer. I think it's been going for a couple of years.
Yeah, it used to be the Nesson spot down there. The very last one.
There's a large group from Fox 25, all the employees here at the ball game today. I think in section 31.
Down to that general direction. One-two pitch. Backdoor breaking ball missed. That's about where our colleagues are. You went down and spoke to the group before the game today.
We just mingled a little bit.
Gilkey down to third. A double play ball. And the White Sox turn it 5-4-3. Perry, Durham, and Canerco. The Red Sox take advantage of the error to score an unearned run. 1-0 Boston after 4. You're watching the Fox 25 Red Sox television network. We should discuss.
Now batting for Chicago.
Both presidential candidates narrowing down their list for vice presidents. They're trying to pick the person most popular who could help them. It's been very secretive, very quiet, but it's starting to leak out. Wally has been the target of the politicos.
Well, I think a lot of the the Bush camp and the Gore camp both were very impressed with his work at Camp David last week, trying to get both
he did all he could. It just didn't work out.
He kept him at the table at least 2 days longer than they probably would have been if Clinton had just been there.
So no one knows what party Wally's aligned with.
Independent. He's an independent.
Very independent. Those who know Wally know. It's the background check part of it right now that seems to be causing concern for the political types. That picture we showed of his trip to Ireland yesterday, I don't think helped.
That didn't help.
He has a message today, by the way. Congratulations, Pudge. Carlton Fisk going into the Hall of Fame. Wally's good pal. Carlos Lee hits it very high. And Daubach has it, 1 out in the 5th.
He was invited to Cooperstown by Red Sox brass as they go down and celebrate with Fisk going into the Hall of Fame. But of course, he never misses a Pedro game, and so he just wanted to send his best wishes along with that sign. And hopefully, Pudge will, get that message.
Number 43.
Well, he didn't want to detract attention away from Fisk's big day, because wherever Wally goes, he really is the center of attention in the story.
I think you're right about some of those things in his closet, though, Sean. There's that trip he took last year to the West Coast. A lot of bad things happened, and if that ever came out,
it could hurt a political campaign. Herbert Perry, the batter, and he takes a strike. Perry called out on strikes in the 2nd inning. 1-0 Red Sox. They capitalized on an error by Jose Valentin in the bottom of the 4th to score an unearned run. The White Sox have managed 2 hits through 4 1/3 against Pedro, who has struck out 5 without walking a batter. He hit Canerco back in the 2nd. He's retired 9 of the last 10 Chicago hitters. Wally also admires excellence in anything, and he's become a big fan of Tiger Woods, and they've communicated. How about Tiger? He won the British Open today by 8 shots.
That's all?
That's all. Look at what he did in the U.S. Open. That seems like a narrow win. He was 19 under. Thomas Bjorn, Denmark, and Ernie Els tied for 2nd at 11 under. So Tiger's already won every Grand Slam event, every major tournament once in his career. And they had well over 100 bunkers. I know you're a big golf guy. You watched that. They had bunkers all over that St. Andrews course. Many of them recently redone. And Tiger didn't go into a single bunker in 4 days. He's not bad. He keeps working at his game. He could amount to something. Into the middle, Veritek to strike 3. Perry fans for the 2nd time. 6 strikeouts now for Pedro.
Got him on the curveball the first time, and this time the fastball for the strikeout. Pedro had 12 in that last outing against Montreal, 10 in the 2 previous, and the 10 against Toronto was when he was hurting. That's just before he went on to the Sable list.
That's an interesting twist. Rather than the K's, they're posting White Sox for every White Sox hitter who strikes out. Strike on Mark Johnson. The catcher grounded out to the first baseman Daubach unassisted in the 3rd. We're in the 5th. The Red Sox lead 1-0. I don't know what was wrong with that. Perhaps a bit high. 1-1. Pedro is doing this on a day when we still really haven't seen the blazing fastball.
I think he feels at this stage of the game his off-speed pitch is better for him, and every once in a while sneaking in that fastball and getting out.
Trying to complete the 1-2-3 inning. He missed up and away with a 92-mile-per-hour heater, then looked away.
It's the one thing about Pedro, even missing a pitch, he still has the ability to shut people down because his other 2 are so good. He had a good fastball last time out against
against Montreal. That high rider he used quite a bit.
2-2 pitch. Fouled out of play to the left. Another 2-2 pitch. And another strikeout with the changeup. 7 strikeouts for Pedro. We go to the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 Boston.
Perfectly positioned, different from anything else. Keister kicking Magnum V8. So what's the big deal? Generous cash allowance up to 2,000 Dodge Ram. Cash allowance. No wonder Dakotas move so fast. But there's a load more. Up to 2,000 direct. Make you feel good all over. Almost everything. Oops. Anything less doesn't cut it. Dodge. Different.
He caught more games and hit more home runs than any catcher in Major League history. He was an 11-time All-Star, a unanimous Rookie of the Year. And while he didn't invent the wave, he certainly perfected it. Join MasterCard and the Boston Red Sox as baseball's newest Hall of Fame inductee has his number retired at Fenway Park. MasterCard and the Red Sox present Carlton Fisk Day, Monday, September 4th. For tickets, call today or log on to redsox.com.
Sam Adams, the world's most award-winning beers. Don't stop. Keep on doing what you're doing.
Back at Fenway, the Red Sox with a 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. If you ever wanted to see the Green Monster up close or sit in the press box at Fenway, now's your chance. Fenway Park tours give an intimate view of the park as well as some interesting historical facts about the Red Sox. For more information, call the Fenway Park Tour hotline at 617-236-6666. All areas are subject to availability.
It's an interesting point that you raised in reading that promo. Strike on Manny Alexander as we go to the bottom of the 5th. The Red Sox leading 1-0. You get an intimate view of the park. You get some interesting historical facts. Remember the other day we talked about the fascinating features on Fox 25 News at 10. Remember recently they did one about the tours around Boston. Are they really telling you the truth? Sometimes on some of them they're saying things as if they are facts that turn out to not be facts. But here at Fenway you have the guarantee. They tell you this part of the park's been here since 1922. You can book it. Ripped to the left, the base hit. Alexander behind the count 1-2. Singles to left, his first hit.
Alexander has had some success against Soroka. 286 coming into the ball game. He hits that curveball that's down and in for the line drive base hit.
Darren Lewis.
Good pitching here in this ball game today. Obviously Pedro and Soroka has also been very good.
Here's Darren Lewis. He's drawn the only walk issued by either pitcher. He walked in the 3rd and was stranded at 3rd base.
He may be bunting here, Sean. Maybe bunt, maybe hit and run. But with Pedro on the mound, they like to get another run across.
Now Johnson's going to go to the mound. Well, the White Sox didn't get very good news today concerning the status of pitcher Cal Eldred. He went on the disabled list with ulnar neuritis in his right elbow. He tried to play catch today and could not do it. White Sox released a statement from general manager Ron Schuler saying that they're comfortable. The problem is nerve-related. He's out indefinitely. No scheduled date to return. It is bunted toward first. Canerco will make the play unassisted. It's a sacrifice for Lewis. Alexander now at second base with one out. That looks like now for a while, barring the completion of a trade, the White Sox going with 2 rookies in their starting rotation. And even with a big lead, you get the sense, hearing the comments of Jerry Manuel, he's not all that comfortable about it. He said earlier today, or actually yesterday, I guess you'd have to say we're vulnerable because you have 2 out of 5 pitchers who are unproven. It's just fortunate for us we have the big lead that we have, and they do have an 11.5 game lead in the Central over the Cleveland Indians. There's Brian Daubach, who's 2 for 2 with a double to right center and a single off the glove of the second baseman Durham. Daubach and then Garcia Parra against Soroka. He's been a double-digit winner the last 2 years. Led them 2 years ago with 14 wins. That's how to play to the left.
No, I think this is great for the White Sox, obviously, and great for baseball. Everybody, Cleveland has been, the year after year after year, and some of these guys have gone through some tough times with the White Sox, and now to see all this paying off for them and having that nice big lead in the Central Division, and great for the fans of Chicago. They finally started to respond to go to the new ballpark and watch this team play.
Good pitch, sweeping breaking ball to make the count 1-2. And they should be good for a while.
Yeah, they're young.
They're very young, as we mentioned yesterday. The average age about 26. And you wonder about the loss of Eldred. I think they got him not expecting very much. And then he comes to their team this year and looks like the Cal Eldred who was so good when he first broke into the major leagues with the Brewers before he ran into a history of problems. He gave them 10 wins, but talking to the White Sox people now, the speculation is that he probably won't be back this year with this elbow problem. After the news of the day, the 2-2 to Daubach. Fisted foul back onto the screen.
Well, they've got James Baldwin. They got a couple of lefties with Soroka and Paquet. Maybe they'll go out and try to make a deal to get a solid 4th or 5 guy in that rotation. The kid that pitched yesterday, John Gallen, I think he can win games. He looked pretty good.
There's Paquet. The Red Sox will not see in this series. Garland felt he didn't have his sinker yesterday. Soroka has the corner, and Daubach retired for the first time this afternoon on the second strikeout for Soroka.
Threw him a changeup here with 2 strikes and nasty outside corner. Lefties usually don't throw lefties changeup because they end up down and in, which is a good spot for a lefty to hit. But that time Soroka went away with the changeup, and Fred Daubach looking.
There's Nomar 0 for 2, and they're going to put him on. Nomar grounded out twice. And they'll take their chances with Ed Sprague. With the 0 for 2, Nomar's at 392 right now. With the second walk issued by Soroka. The other one was unintentional.
8th intentional walk of the season for Nomar. That obviously leads the Red Sox in that category.
Number 44, the third baseman, Ed Sprague.
Sprague's up with a bunch of men on base. He grounded to short with Daubach at third and 2 outs in the first to end that inning. Then he came up with men at second and third and 2 outs in the third and grounded to short again. Alexander at second. Garcia Parra at first. 1-0 Boston the fifth. The ball way outside. When Jim Parquet went to UCLA, I shot him in the dugout a moment ago. A very bright young man. I had the opportunity to broadcast the College World Series when he was there, and he was going to be the starting pitcher for UCLA. So we sat down with him the day before the game to learn a little bit about him, his pitching repertoire, and his personal background. You could tell he's very bright. And he's been writing a column that appears in the Chicago Sun-Times that we read this morning. He's a very good writer. Very interesting stuff to read. Maybe we'll give you a little sample of it in a moment. First, the big spot here for the Red Sox. The count 2-0 on Sprague, and O'Leary on deck. Swing and a miss. Now the 2-1 hit to short again. The third time with men in scoring position. Sprague grounds to short, and he's starting to hear from the Fenway Bluebirds again. After 5, 1-0 Red Sox.
So your sister's grown up. What's she doing these days? She just started law school. Good. She can hook me up with some legal advice.
There are friends, and there are mostly friends.
So, Steve, you ever get that rash under control?
Well? Measuring your distance to the pin used to require guesswork or more elaborate measures.
125 yards!
With the golf scope from Radio Shack, just line up the pin on the scale.
What? 100!
What the?
Now you don't have to go to such lengths. The golf scope from Radio Shack, just one of the handy gadgets and gizmos in our free new book of cool things you don't even know you need. Now at Radio Shack.
Well, Dimple Monkey, twice the pudding, octopi for Tango Man.
I sense a little confusion.
Yeah, very blender shoe. Cellular, Scooter, my daisy heads.
You said cellular.
Diddly day.
It's those cellular plans. They can really confuse you. Here, the new Sprint PCS free and clear plan lets you choose one free option. Long distance, nights and weekends, or wireless web.
And all the calls are clear.
Well said.
Choose one free option. Introducing the new Sprint PCS free and clear plan.
An open audition for whiners. Got something to say about a player, a coach, or even a team? Step onto the Fox Soapbox and give us your last blast on the sporting world. Look for Tom Zenner and the Last Blast crew on Yawkey Way Tuesday before the game. Forget those call-in shows. This is your chance to work out your personal sports issues on camera. Come down Tuesday right outside the ballpark with your last blast. We'll be out there from 5 to 7 before the ball game between the Red Sox and the Minnesota Twins. Top of the order for Chicago. 6th inning. Again today, the Red Sox haven't done much to help Pedro. They've managed one unearned run. That's enough to give them the lead right now. Durham turned the bunt and looked at a strike. He's flied to center and grounded to second. Chopped over the mound. Alexander. One out. And listen, Jim Parquet writing. A lot of times you get the feeling that these guest columns that players or coaches occasionally write in newspapers might be ghost written. You know, sometimes they might give a few thoughts to a writer who then writes the story. And with Parquet, clearly he does this himself.
The shortstop.
His column this morning, being the insomniac that I occasionally am, I decided to get up and grab an early breakfast in a morning session of Land of the Lost. Jose Valentin, the hitter. By the way, for those of you who are deprived of this awesome show, my condolences are extended after my interest in the tube tapers off. I grabbed the morning paper and read about last night's heroics at Comiskey. However, the first thing that catches my eye is a story about all the run support I'm receiving these days. Hunted foul. I see the stat about me being the leading run support getter in the American League. More often than MASH, reruns are aired on TV. Everywhere I look in the morning paper, on Fox Sports, in the bathroom, reading material. Jim Parquet gets more run support than any other pitcher. It's beginning to dawn on me that the media are trying to portray this support as something negative. Does this statistic mean that Jim Parquet is overrated, that he can't hold a lead, that his record is the direct result of the 8.6 runs per game he received? The way the statistic reads, it basically says the little surfer boy from California cannot win unless the Southside Bruisers live up to their reputations. But is that the case? Does Parquet really get more than 8 runs every time out? According to the statistic, he does. And he goes on much like that. Very interesting reading. He's obviously a very bright young man.
And I think he'd rather have those runs than not have them.
Absolutely. But it is amazing how stats can be used to make a case for just about anything. That's 3 strikeouts on the last 4 hitters for Martinez. Second time he's fanned Valentin. 8 Ks in the ball game now for Pedro.
Change up again to Valentin. The second time he has struck him out on that pitch. That one foul tipped, I believe, into the glove of Jason Varitek.
Two outs. Here's Frank Thomas. Able to really had his way with the top part of this order. Thomas is 0 for 2. The top 4 hitters in their order today, Durham, Valentin, Thomas, and Ordonez, are 0 for 10. The bottom 3 hitters are 0 for 6. The only men who have reached base are Paul Konerko. He's been on base twice. After having been hit by a pitch in the second inning, he had a single in the 4th, and Chris Singleton has the other hit. Martinez has retired 6 in a row since the Konerko hit. 1-2 on Thomas. Pitch. Breaking ball. Thomas had his knees buckled, but he wouldn't chase it. One 0 Red Sox in the 6th. Pedro head-to-head with the best offense in baseball this year, and right now Pedro has the edge. A couple of breaking balls out of the strike zone have made it a full count. This is the first full count of the afternoon for Martinez. Bill has not walked anybody. The right center, it stays in the air, and Willis runs it down. Pedro came right after Thomas, and he lines out on the fastball. On to the bottom of the 6th. 1-0 Boston.
Horsepower Nissan Pathfinder. As a baseball fan, you may already think the new Red Sox ballpark project is a good idea. But consider this. The Red Sox have been a part of this community for over 100 years, and they want to stay for another 100. To make it a reality, they're putting more private money into the new ballpark than any sports team in history. Over $350 million, and the responsibility for all cost overruns. The new ballpark project. Let's get it done now. To help, log on to redsox.com.
Select road. Validating tires.
What kind of road can you drive on with BF Goodrich tires? Enjoy. Any road you choose. And now we've been ranked Best Original Equipment Tire for light truck vehicles and customer satisfaction by J.D. Power and Associates. BF Goodrich Tires. Take control.
Back at Fenway. The Red Sox with the 1-0 lead as we move to the bottom of the 6th. Now Pedro Martinez, Frank Thomas staying away from Thomas on every single pitch. If he's going to hit a home run, it's going to have to be to the opposite field. Fastball, missed with the curveball. He'll go back to the fastball for a strike. Now back-to-back curveballs. That one misses. That one will miss. And then the fastball here, the line drive, and Darren Lewis plays him perfectly.
And as we come up live, Troy O'Leary is out in the pop foul to the catcher, Mark Johnson. Troy first ball swinging. Pops it up in foul ground over near the Chicago on-deck circle. So O'Leary's 0 for 3. Very quiet day lately for Troy.
Number 56, the designated hitter, Izzy
has thrown 56 strikes out of 75 pitches. And without that fastball, consistently in the mid-90s. Alcantara has had an active day. He had a bloop hit, broken bat single to left center in the second inning. He reached on the error by Valentin, which is the big play in the game right now. That put Izzy at second base, and he scored on the base hit by Jason Varitek. That's it for offense in this game. Red Sox have had 1 hit in every inning against Soroka. They haven't had more than 1 in any inning. 1 and 2 now. And Alcantara. Snapped that one off a bit too hard. It went past the catcher Johnson. That's a pop-up. Very high on the right side. It'll be Durham, the second baseman. 2 down here in the 6th.
And Soroka working today against the Red Sox. He made his major league debut against Boston back in 1995. I recall, I think he was brought up in the minor leagues, made that start against Boston.
Jason
No decision in that ball game. 6 2/3 though.
Here's Varitek, who was driven in the only run in this game. He sends that one into the roof boxes on the right. Jason grounded the second baseman Durham in the second inning and singled up the middle to drive in Alcantara with the Red Sox run in the 4th. Strike on the corner, 0-2. And a miss. A strong inning for Soroka. Just 9 pitches needed to dispatch the Red Sox in order. 7th inning upcoming from Fenway. It's still 1-0 Red Sox.
Introducing a less expensive, more convenient way to Long Island. Skip LaGuardia. Fly Southwest Airlines non-stop to Long Island. Just $49 one way. Every seat, every flight, every day. Keeping things simple to keep fares low. Southwest Airlines.
You are now free to move about the country.
Doug gave it to Madeline. Edith gave it to Walter and Roy. Richard gave it to Earl. Dr. Marsh gave it to his patients. It's Juno, the easy way for everyone to get online, whether you want completely free internet access or premium service. Juno offers both. Juno, everybody's getting it. Just call 1-800-TRY-JUNO to get your free software today.
It's a rare occurrence you won't want to miss because it won't pass this way again. The Chrysler 2000 Summer Clearance. Now get the biggest cash allowances of the year. $2,000 on Chrysler Town & Country. And on select new Chrysler cars, get up to $1,500 cash allowance or less than 1% financing. Just 0.9. The Chrysler 2000 Summer Clearance. You've never seen a clearance like this before. And after July 31st, you won't see one like it again.
Pedro Martinez center stage today. He and the Red Sox leading 1-0. A vintage Pedro performance. He was in the center of the ring yesterday, the sumo wrestling ring. It looked like Tomooka was teaching him some of the finer points of sumo wrestling. Those guys are a little lighter than the guys you usually see with those belts on.
Oka gets to start tomorrow night against the Minnesota Twins here at Fenway Park.
I think if you put the two of them together, you wouldn't have one.
You wouldn't have one wrestler. No.
Number 30.
Tomooka tomorrow against Eric Milton. Sometimes tough lefty for the Twins. Ramon Martinez goes Tuesday against Joe Mays. Nesson has those two games, both 7 o'clock starts. We're back with you Wednesday afternoon for the homestand finale. 1 o'clock ball game on getaway day for the Red Sox. We'll be heading out to the West Coast after the game. Martinez knocks down the comebacker from Ordonez and throws him out. One pitch and Maglio Ordonez is gone. We'll have Tim Wakefield and Mark Redmond for you. The pitching matchup Wednesday over these stations. Ordonez now 0 for 3. Konerko to bat next.
The Red Sox have a guaranteed win tomorrow night because Joe Mays is on your rotisserie club.
Yeah,
right?
That's Tuesday night.
Oh, Tuesday night. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So that's guaranteed win night.
The first baseman, Paul Konerko.
Paul Konerko has been hit by a pitch and he singled to left. He is the last Chicago hit. He's the last White Sox player to reach base. Pedro's retired the last 8 since Konerko's ball that bounced off the wall in left in the 4th inning. Starts Paul with a curveball for a strike. The Twins are here. The Red Sox were trying to keep their record against them this year perfect. Red Sox are 7-0 against Minnesota this season. There's really that 4-game sweep of the Twins shortly before the All-Star break that seemed to get the Red Sox on a little bit of a roll, in which they continue. 1-2, the count on Konerko. The crowd anticipates punch-out number 9. And he does not disappoint. The breaking ball for the call, 3rd strike.
Curveball completely fooling Konerko right down the heart of the plate.
Number 12, the center fielder, Chris Singleton.
Strikeouts today on the off-speed pitches, the curveball and the changeup.
9 Ks in all. Here's Chris Singleton. A base hit. So he has 2 of the 3 Chicago hits. That ends Pedro's string. 9 men in a row retired. Chicago has a 2-out base runner.
Singleton's done a nice job in his career against Pedro. He is now 4 for 8 in his career against Martinez.
Number 45, the left fielder, Carlos Lee.
Singleton has some speed too. He has 8 steals on the season, but he also has been caught 6 times. But the Red Sox will have to pay attention to him in this 1-0 ball game.
Move to first. Pedro threw a laser beam over there.
Yeah, quick feed and also about a 95-mile-an-hour throw to first base.
It seems all season long Pedro has had to be perfect or very close to it because of the lack of run support. That's the case again here today. He's dominated the White Sox, but still in a position where one mistake could be devastating. was off the rubber, his feet apart, and he made a motion as a center would in football. He was going to be a long snapper and hike the ball over the first base, but didn't actually throw it. Drops in strike one on Carlos Lee. He struck out and popped up.
Pedro used a mini slide step that time to home plate and then featured the changeup out of that. Like a changeup again.
It was, and Lee wouldn't chase it. 1 run, 5 hits for Boston. No runs, 3 hits, and 1 very costly error for Chicago. Throwing error by Jose Valentin, the shortstop, in the 4th inning. Allowed Izzy Alcantara to reach second base, and Jason Varitek knocked him in from second with a single. That remains the only run in the game. 1-1 fastball. It was in the high 80s. A little bit up and away, and now Manny Alexander wants to confer with Martinez.
That's some of the argument against using the slide step. You don't get the same velocity on the fastball.
The shaky call there. Lee didn't like it, and I think he has a legitimate beef.
And you see the difference there. He used the high leg kick, and that time it was up there about 93 miles an hour. And you're right, that was a gift for Pedro.
You look high and away, at least relative to what the strike zone has been most of the day. Brandon Ayers is a good ball strike umpire. He's had a good day back there with very few disputes. That's in the hole. Garcia Parra couldn't get it. Back-to-back hits with 2 outs. Lee, after being angered by the close call that went against him on the previous pitch, responds in proper fashion with a base hit.
Yeah, you got to tip your cap to Carlos Lee. Upset about the call. It really put him in a hole. And then Pedro came with the curveball, and he picks up the base hit with it. First curveball he's throwing at bat, it was nothing but fastballs and changeups. There's the curveball from Pedro, and right toward the end of the bat for Lee, but perfect direction between third and short.
Number 43, the third baseman, Herbert Perry.
Now Herbert Perry was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts against Pedro today. And a chance to atone for that with 1 swing. The Red Sox lead 1-0. There's an anxious silence that has come over Fenway as the White Sox trying to put something together with 2 outs after back-to-back hits. Pedro painted the corner, strike 1, and that had Perry taking a stroll.
Drives hit is crazy. You know, you say to the umpire, look, this guy's already Cy Young out there. He doesn't need any help.
One strike pitch, breaking ball, chop foul behind the plate. Perry took a look back at Ryan Honora again as he strolled around the home plate area.
Well, let's see how they work. That's what Varitek's going to talk to Pedro about now. How they're going to try to go about this with 2 strikes. A couple of times they try to go up and out of the strike zone to try to get Perry to chase it.
Struck him out with the fastball up and away. 10 strikeouts for Pedro Martinez. 7th inning stretch at Fenway. 1-0 Boston.
I registered my vision.
I registered my cause.
I registered my family.
register today.
Uniroyal tires with nail guard seal most tread punctures instantly, permanently, and repeatedly. Nail guard tires, only from Uniroyal.
It's your concert hall. It's your car. Keep it going with Midas. New services, more parts, a lifetime guarantee for more than mufflers. Go Midas.
Celebrate up to $1,000 cash back plus 0.9 financing on Ford Windstar and Taurus during the Ford Authorized Clearance. Get over 40 standard safety features that have earned Windstar and Taurus the government's highest safety rating. Celebrate safety and savings at your New England Ford dealer today. I just want to celebrate, yeah. Now get 0.9% financing plus $1,000 cash back on Windstar and Taurus.
Pedro Martinez has struck out 10 batters for the 10th time in 17 starts this season. 64th career game with 10 Ks or more for Pedro. Here's number 10, a big one with 2 men on. He gets Herbert Perry. They didn't go to that high fastball again.
Yeah, and when he needs that little extra on the fastball, he has it. And that time, the high fastball out of the zone to pick up the strikeout.
Number 28. The right fielder.
Here's Bernard Gilkey to begin the bottom of the 7th. Still a tight one. Just a 1-0 advantage for the Red Sox. Soroka benefited from the call on the backdoor breaking ball. Bernard Gilkey looked back a couple of times to say, really? Bernard is grounded out twice. Once into a 5-4-3 double play. That one looked a bit better. And it was also called a strike. Gilkey from the St. Louis, Missouri area was a high school basketball star. Had a chance to go to Drake University to play basketball on a scholarship, but chose to sign with the White Sox, or rather with the Cardinals organization instead. Rocket trying to hit that spot again, a low and away. He just missed. 2-2. Gilkey, Alexander, and Lewis coming up. Center. Chris Singleton drifted toward right to make the catch. 1 out in the 7th. 5 in a row retired by Soroka. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Fox 25 Red Sox television network.
You're watching Red Sox baseball on Eastern and Central Maine's local sports leader. WABI-TV, Channel 5, Bangor. Sean McDonough, Jerry Remy at sold-out Fenway Park. Final game, the rubber game of this 3-game series. Red Sox trying to make it 2 out of 3 against the team with the best record in baseball. They lead 1-0. With 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Manny Alexander has popped out and singled to left. Soroka missed low. 105 pitches. 42 balls and 63 strikes. He's walked 2. And one of those was an intentional walk. Just about the same spot as the ball hit by Gilkey. Tough sun that time for Singleton. He stayed with it and made the catch. 2 outs.
See him turn his body there to try to get away from the sun. I don't even believe he had the sunglasses down that time. He'll go back, 20, turn around, and try to get the best angle on the fly ball as he possibly can.
Lewis.
And 2 quick outs, 6 in a row for Soroka. The Red Sox have not had a hit since Alexander's single leading off the 5th. Here's Darren Lewis, 0 for 1 with a ground out in the 1st inning. He has walked and sacrificed since then. Yankees lead Tampa Bay 5-0 now. Another strong outing from Denny Nagel, the newcomer. He has shut out Tampa Bay in the 7th inning, and the Blue Jays are still leading Baltimore 3-1 in the 6th. Late swing, strike 2, 1-2.
It's been great pitching today by both Soroka and Pedro. They know they're getting the outside calls. Both guys staying on that outside corner, throwing strikes, working quickly.
Two and 2 now on Lewis. Hammered it foul. Another birthday sign for Nomar. How would you say that in Spanish? That sign hit the Red Sox in Espanol, their Spanish radio broadcast sign. Down to third, Perry across the Canerco. A 1-2-3 inning for Soroka. After 7, 1-0 Boston. You're watching the Fox 25 Red Sox Network.
You're looking at some of the best new car deals anywhere. We will not be undersold at Central Maine Chrysler Plymouth Dodge Jeep. Save on a new Dodge Caravan starting at $16,918. Right now, Chrysler Financial is offering 2.9% APR on Chrysler Plymouth and Dodge cars. We also have a great selection of sport utilities at low Central Maine prices. You'll find the best prices at Central Maine Chrysler Plymouth Dodge Jeep. Because it's true, cars and trucks do cost less in Waterville.
Do you just assume that big boxes are better than little boxes? That the massive big box building suppliers are less expensive than a little box Maine family business like Hammond Lumber? Well, the Hammond folks will deliver absolutely free. And they will design your project if you order from them also for free. And Hammond's tools and supplies are priced right every day. In short, when you look inside a little box like Hammond Lumber, you just might be surprised.
Looking for local morning news? How about local morning weather from your hometown? If so, there's only one place to find it.
This is WAPI.
TV5's Morning News is the only local morning news produced right here in eastern and central Maine, with local news from local people, local weather from your hometown, plus all the important local information you need to start the day. Real local news you can use, only from TV5's Morning News, weekday mornings at 6.
Back at Fenway Park, where the Red Sox lead 1-0, an unearned run in the 4th inning. The difference in the ball game. You see Alcantara hit a routine bouncer to short, but Jose Valentin made a throwing error, allowing Alcantara to reach second base. Jason Varitek, the next hitter, brought him in with a soft single through the middle, and that's been it. It easily could be dueling shutouts as we look at the game summary brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. Pedro has blanked the White Sox on 4 hits. Soroka's given up the 1 unearned run on 5 hits. The RBI single by Varitek, the only run batted in the game, and Nomar's 0 for 2, having been intentionally walked once. Now hitting .392. Here's Brooke Fordyce, pinch hitting to open the 8th. He's batting for the catcher, Mark Johnson. Fordyce has been a hot hitter lately at .248 average. You got to sit around all day and watch and then go up there against this act. 0-2.
I wonder if there's some type of injury maybe to Johnson, the left-handed hitter, and sending up Fordyce, the right-hander. But you mentioned, Sean, he's been one of their hottest hitters in this series.
And it's 4 for 8, having started the first 2 games of this series. 7 for his last 12 over his last 3 games, with 2 homers and 5 runs batted in over the last 3. He's been hot, and Jerry Manuel hoping perhaps to catch lightning in a bottle. 1 swing and tie it up. Pedro missed. The pinch hitter Fordyce, then Durham and Valentin for Jerry Manuel. Strike 3, number 11. Pedro benefits from another close call.
Well, there's no reason to go anywhere but outside with the outside strikes that Honora is calling this afternoon. That's a cut fastball.
Number 5, the second baseman.
And at least he's been consistent for both sides on that pitch.
Ray Durham, the batter, 0 for 3. Fly to center and grounded out twice. He's 2 for his last 16 now. Inside corner, a strike, 1-1. Another sellout crowd here, 33,224. Enjoying an excellent pitcher's duel and a beautiful day at Fenway Park. Strike at the knees. Pedro struck out 12 expos in 8 innings in his last outing, trying to ring up his 12th White Sox hitter. Here in the 8th inning this afternoon. A 1-2 to Durham. He struck him out. Durham follows outside. Brian Lenora says that's been a strike all day, and it is now too. Goodbye.
Well, I can understand the players complaining about the outside strike, but not that one. That looked like it was a little bit closer than a lot of them today.
And it looks like Jerry Manuel just got run.
You cannot argue balls and strikes, and as soon as you do, you're out of the ball game.
Well, I think it's what you said earlier, their attitude in the White Sox dugout is, hey, that guy's good enough without the help of those pitches off the plate. And we've talked for years, Jerry, about the need. We've been begging umpires, please expand the strike zone and call more strikes. But to me, the one direction it shouldn't be expanded is that direction, outside. They're going to run somebody else?
Yeah, somebody else is getting thrown out, too. As a matter of fact, the second base umpire and third base umpire are both heading to the dugout. It may be Von Joshua, the batting coach. Hard to tell from here, but they're doing the same thing. They're making a sign down there how big the plate has been all day. There it is.
They got the towel there to demonstrate how wide they think the plate has been for Pedro. That is Von Joshua, the hitting coach. But when you widen the strike zone in that direction, Jerry, outside, the hitter has no chance to hit that pitch.
Exactly.
And if they do lean out over the plate, then you get the whole notion of, well, that's why they get hit, because they lean out over the plate. Well, you get them where they have to lean over the plate to hit that pitch, and you make them more vulnerable to that pitch inside of getting seriously injured. Raise the strike zone up, move it in if you want to, but when you take it that far out, it's really such a disadvantage to the hitter.
Well, the other thing, too, it's been consistent for both sides today.
And they don't have as much of a strikeout pitcher on the mound.
Right.
Rocco's fan 3. As if he's been squeezed. And Pedro with 3 strikeouts in a row. He could strike out the side here in the 8th inning. Valentin, the batter. So Jerry Manuel was ejected for arguing balls and strikes, and it looked like Von Joshua was run by both the second and third base umpires, Mark Hirschbeck and Wally Bell, respectively. 1-1 pitch. Valentin to right center. That's going to fall. Cut off by Gilkey. Big turn for Valentin before he retreats to first.
Well, a couple of things about getting thrown out. First of all, you get your point across about what you feel has been unfair strike zone for Pedro. The other thing is you hope to maybe break Pedro's concentration.
Number 35, the designated hitter, Frank Thomas.
It's one of the few bad changeups that he's thrown today. That ball stayed upstairs, and Valentin picked up the base hit.
Here's Frank Thomas, 0 for 3. A situation with the Red Sox lack of scoring today, where one swing of the bat could put the Sox behind. The Red Sox, that is. 24 first pitch strikes for the 30 batters he has faced today. Give Brian Anora credit after the brouhaha moment ago. That was a close pitch on the outside corner. He didn't hesitate to call it a strike. The changeup missed low and away. 1-1.
Let's see how Thomas makes the adjustment. Everything in that last at bat was away, and the first 2 pitches in this at bat have been outside.
He said earlier if they're going to have him hit a home run, they want him to do it the opposite field, but he certainly has the ability and strength to do that. Great power to all fields for Thomas. And now that kind of a swing. Back-to-back change-ups. Thomas was fooled 1-2. Sellout crowd at Fenway. They're on their feet. Looking for lucky strikeout number 13. He struck him out. And he struck out the side with the single mixed in. Baseball on Fox 25 is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Log on for low fares at www.southwest.com and by your New England Jeep dealers. Jeep, there's only one. Brooke Fordyce remains in the game to catch after he hit for the starting catcher Mark Johnson. Mike Soraka starts Brian Daubach. The breaking ball for strike one. Red Sox looking to pad this one-run lead. Daubach has doubled, singled, and struck out. Garcia, Parr, and Sprague due to follow. Soraka has retired the last 7 Red Sox hitters, and he's quickly in front of Daubach 0-2. Soraka's given up 5 hits, none since the 5th inning. And Alexander led off with a single. 1 out on the ground ball to second. Well, it's been a special day here at Fenway with the performance we're seeing again today from Pedro Martinez. And regardless of the outcome, it's a special day for the Red Sox organization as Carlton Fisk takes his place in Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. Fitting perhaps the Red Sox and White Sox are battling on this day. And Fisk played for both teams. He's joining Bid McPhee, a Cincinnati Red Star second baseman of the late 1800s. Turkey Stearns, a Negro League star in the 1920s. Sparky Anderson and Tony Perez from those great Cincinnati clubs in the mid-70s. Garcia, Parra, Fool. And the broadcaster going in this year is Marty Brenneman, also of the Cincinnati Reds. And there's been a lot of speculation that Marty in his speech is going to make the case for Pete Rose being in the Hall of Fame. Finally, Marty's prepared to say even if he's banished from baseball, still let Pete be in the Hall of Fame. And if he does say that, it'll be interesting to see what the reaction will be.
I see clips of Pete up at Cooperstown signing autograph sessions. What a day for Carlton Fisk today. I can imagine the last couple of days. Not much sleep, I don't think.
No. 1-2 on Nomar, for 2 of the walk, hitting .392 right now, and he strikes out. Had to power up on that one. Soraka threw the fastball past him. Strikeout number 4 for the left-hander.
There's one spot maybe you can go on Nomar when you're ahead of him, is up and away with a fastball. If it comes down just a bit, that's a ball that he drives hard to the opposite field, but that's a tough pitch for anybody to handle.
Bill Seamus in the bullpen. And 1 strike to count on Ed Sprague, who's had a tough day as the cleanup hitter. 0 for 3 on 3 ground balls to short. All 3 have ended innings and stranded base runners. He's stranded 5 men. He's had the best chance of any Red Sox hitter to make this a more comfortable day for Pedro. This might be his last shot. The Red Sox hope it will be, to extend his hitting streak to 7 games. Good changeup. 1-0 Boston in the 8th. 2 outs, the bases empty. Each team has 5 hits. The difference in the game, the big error by Jose Valentin back in the 4th. It led to the Red Sox unearned run. 1-2 to Sprague. Just missed. The pop-up is going to be close. Into the front row before Fordyce could get back there. Well, a sellout crowd here, including our friends the Wollicotts. Jeff Wollicott, his sons Thomas, Zachary, and Evan enjoying the game from our broadcast booth. Result of their generosity of a recent charity event. And we appreciate their support, and great to have them here with us today. Little roller to second. Bluebirds turn on Sprague again as Durham threw him out. A 1-2-3 inning for Soroka. He's pitched brilliantly, but he's going to be pegged with a loss unless the White Sox can strike against Martinez in the 9th. After 8 innings, 1-0 Red Sox. This is the Fox 25 Red Sox Network. Now here's Tori Ryden at the Fox 25 news desk. Ordonez ready to begin the 9th against Pedro Martinez. A fastball for strike 1. 1-0 Boston. Middle 3rd coming up for the White Sox. Ordonez, Konerko, and Singleton. Ball away. Ordonez has had a quiet day. 0 for 3. A fly ball to right, a strikeout, and a comeback. Vintage Martinez performance. 5 hits for Chicago. All of them singles. He has not walked a man. He has hit a batter. Barely grazed Konerko with a pitch back in the 2nd. He has struck out 13. Second, rather 3rd highest strikeout total of the year. With 17, a memorable 1-0 loss to Steve Traxton in Tampa Bay here on May 6th, and 15 in the outing after that against the Baltimore Orioles in Baltimore on May 12th. 13 today and 1 strike away from making it 14. If he can get Ordonez. Pedro trying to pitch his 4th complete game of the season. And his 3rd shutout. The 2-2 to Ordonez. He wouldn't chase it down and away. Pedro's thrown 109 pitches now. And the pitch count is not an issue, and there is no activity in the Boston bullpen. Payoff pitch to Ordonez. Fouled away. He came after him with the fastball, and 95 on our gun is the highest reading I can remember today.
Yeah, it seems to me that his fastball is getting better over the last 3 innings.
Another 3-2 pitch. Chopped to short. They took a tricky hop and went through the legs of Garcia Parra. Ordonez speeding for second. O'Leary's throw off the mark. That ball hit the lip of the infield, the very edge where the grass meets the dirt. And rather than bouncing as Garcia Parra expected, it rolled right along the ground through his legs and a left. A terrible break for the Red Sox. And Ordonez with his hustle managed to reach second base.
Yeah, watch where this ball hits. It's going to be right at the lip of the grass, right before it hits the dirt and just stays down, and absolutely nothing at all when you're charging the ball can you do about that. And good hustle by Ordonez. I mean, it looked like it was going to be a routine out. Instead, he hustled all the way and got himself in a scoring position.
And scored a hit. A double for Ordonez. And we've talked about it a number of times today. When you don't score runs to support Pedro, and today you really do have to tip your cap to Soroka. You make yourself vulnerable to the fluke or bloop or blast. That could be your undoing. Here's Konerko with a ball up and in. He's been hit by a pitch, singled off the wall in left on a hop in the 4th, and he was called out on strikes in the 7th. The hits are now actually 6-5 in favor of Chicago. With that gift hit, Konerko and then Chris Singleton has been the toughest man for Pedro today. Ordonez went diving back as Pedro looked in that direction. Neither Alexander nor Garcia Parra was anywhere near the bag, and that got a chuckle from the crowd.
Ordonez can run. He's got 11 steals on the season.
That would be a mighty risky proposition. Already in scoring position.
Absolutely. No bunt either yet for Konerko, swinging away.
And even in the count after the swing and miss at 1-1. Fouled out of play to the right.
I think that's one that Konerko would like to have again. That was not the good curveball from Pedro, just kind of flat. Unfortunately, Konerko fouled it back.
Now Derek Lowe is warming up in the Red Sox bullpen. Certainly can't fault Pedro. I take it as a sign that he might be losing something because of that hit by Ordonez. He caught a very bad break on the bounce off the lip. Now Veritek will run out to chat with Martinez after Konerko called time. There's Lowe. He's been a little bit shaky of late. Again, the anxious silence here at Fenway Park. Konerko asks out again. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball outside. Only a zip again at 95, but well off the outside corner.
The two guys here back to back, Konerko and Singleton, have done pretty well against Pedro.
Changeup pulled foul. Well, Pedro's done a terrific job against the headliners Thomas and Ordonez. They really should be a combined 0 for 8. They're 1 for 8 because of that gift Ordonez just received in the bad bounce. Konerko's been on base twice. Singleton, who's on deck, has 2 hits. And Carlos Lee, after him, had a hit his last time up. This is the part of the order, the only part of the order that's given Pedro a tough time today. Outfield around toward right with room in left center for Konerko. Another 2-2 pitch. Yeah, that wasn't the real sharp breaking ball, and Konerko fouled it off to the right.
Better location, or at least that curveball was away from Konerko.
Pitch number 118 of the day for Pedro. He struck him out with a fastball. 94 miles per hour. And 14 strikeouts. A huge first out of the 9th inning for Martinez.
Still plenty left for Pedro to throw that high fastball when he gets ahead in the count. Everything had been away, now upstairs, up and in. And the White Sox hitters, when down 2 strikes, have an awful tough time staying off that. And you're not going to hit it.
And here's the man who's been very pesky for Martinez today. Chris Singleton with 2 singles to center and a pop out in foul ground. And he pulls that one foul. Way out in front of that one. Actually put it on the roof above those folks out in right field.
Sometime when you see a swing like that out in front of a cut fastball, you pitch a change of speeds in the next pitch, maybe a changeup. We'll see how Pedro goes with it.
That was one of those, when it first left the bat for that split second before you realize when you foul ball, you get your heart racing a bit more quickly. 1-0 Boston, 9th inning. The fluke hit has given the White Sox a chance here. Ordonez with a leadoff bad bounce double. He's at second base. Konerko struck out. Now Martinez focusing on Singleton. The 1-strike pitch to Chris is a fastball just low. He's thrown consistently harder in this inning than any other inning today. Short lead for Ordonez with Garcia-Parra right behind him. The ball outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Yankees lead the Devil Rays 5-1 in the 9th. And the Blue Jays still lead the Orioles 3-1. The Red Sox, top rivals in the American League East, each leading, as are the Red Sox. But this is the seats corner.
Curveball.
And it's popped up. Garcia-Parra is there in shallow center. 2 outs.
Well, it was the last choice for Pedro. He wanted the cut fastball, then the fastball in, the fastball away, the changeup. He took all those pitches off. He wanted the curveball, and he got the pop-up. Down just above the knees and straight up in the air. Garcia-Parra, you see the frustration from Singleton.
The left fielder, Carlos Lee.
Tying run at second. Go ahead run still at the plate for the White Sox, but now they're down to their final out. It's Carlos Lee, who's 1 for 3 with a single to left in the 7th inning. Strike 1, the 93-mile-per-hour fastball. Nervous silence here a moment ago. Now plenty of noise, many of the fans on their feet. Outside. 1-1. Early to keep them alive. Herbert Perry is on deck. He's had a terrible time with Pedro today. 1-1 pitch outside. Pedro's given up 6 hits, 5 singles, and that bad bounce double a moment ago. No walks, 14 strikeouts, 2-1 pitch, up and away. No one put the go-ahead run on base, but then again, he really has dominated that man, Herbert Perry, who's on deck today.
The left-handed pitch hitter to bet would be Norton, who's a switch hitter.
Martinez against Lee with the ball game in the balance. Pulled foul, and now it all comes down to 1 pitch. Baratek went to the mound to chat with Pedro about this pivotal pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Tying run at second. Go ahead run at the plate. 1-0 Boston in the 9th. Here it is. And it's fouled back to the screen.
They throw it up there again, that high fastball. If he chases it, fine. If he doesn't, well, then you have Perry to work on next.
Another 3-2 pitch. And another foul ball. Give Lee credit. He's hanging in there with the high, hard ones. Ordonez representing the tying run at second. Lee wanted time. He was granted time by Brian O'Nora. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Payoff pitch again. He just did get a piece of that one. Chased the ball, looked a little bit off the plate. And all of a sudden, Pedro's up to 130 pitches. The inning started with 104, which is no big deal, but now it's getting to that time that Williams and Kerrigan aren't very comfortable.
How about that for staying alive, fouling off that cut fastball.
9th pitch of the at-bat. He struck him out. Strikeouts for Martinez. The last one seals it against the valiant Carlos Lee. And another in the long list of masterful performances turned in by Pedro Martinez during his time with the Red Sox. A 6-hit shutout. No walks and 15 strikeouts. His 4th complete game and 3rd shutout of the season. He now leads the majors in shutouts. And he made quick work of the White Sox today in 2 hours and 28 minutes as he hooked up with Mike Soroka in a terrific pitcher's duel. And the bad bounce made things a bit harrowing in the 9th. But Pedro persevered and finally did dispatch Carlos Lee.
We talked about Sean Stay upstairs with the fastball. If he chases it, fine. If you lose him, you work on the next guy upstairs. And we saw that, 4 or 5 times in the last few innings, chasing those high fastballs for strikeouts.
The Red Sox make it 2 out of 3 this weekend over the team with the best record in baseball, the Chicago White Sox. Martinez goes to 11-3 with the victory. One run, 5 hits, no errors for Boston with 6 men left on base. No run, 6 hits, a big error for Chicago. It turned out to be the difference in the game. The White Sox left 7 men on, including the tying run in scoring position. He was there with nobody out in the 9th inning. Martinez, the winner, 11-3, a very tough loss for Mike Soroka, who did not give up an earned run in 8 innings of work. He goes to 9-8. 33,224, the sellout crowd here. 2 hours and 28 minutes to play it. And probably not the most impressive performance we've seen from Pedro, and I guess when you have a day like this and it's not the best you've ever seen, that says a lot about him too.
Well, this was 2 great pitching performances. Obviously Pedro and Soroka was terrific for the other ball club. They had a generous strike zone both. They took advantage of that. They threw strikes. They worked quickly. I mean, that's the way pitching's supposed to be. Not always that good, but somewhat similar to that.
Pedro back on the field to salute the fans and allow them to salute him, more importantly. And Pedro is kind enough to come back out and join us now. Pedro, Sean McDonough, and Jerry Remy up here. Congratulations on just another terrific performance.
Well, thank you very much.
Look, Pedro, early on that you weren't relying so much on the fastball, but then late in the game, particularly there in the 9th, you were.
Well, I gave him pretty much a steady diet of breaking stuff. So at the end, I had to dive with my best pitch. So I just ran over to my fastball.
Pedro, these are the challenges you must love. I mean, you're facing a ball club that leads the league in runs. They've got tremendous hitters, 1 through 9 in that lineup, and it has to be very special to be, well, to shut them out in a game like this.
Well, it's really good to get away with a win, especially knowing that Soroka didn't give up at all during the game, and he did a great job. He pitched probably as good as I did, or probably better, and we took advantage of the little error that they made, and we ended up winning the game.
Pedro, we talked about it a lot. Seems that sometimes when you pitch frequently of late, the offense hasn't been there for the Red Sox. Does that make it any more taxing for you when every time you're out there it seems like it's a tight game like this?
Well, all I try to do is just go out there and give 100%, and I know that my teammates are doing the same thing. So I battle with them for as long as I can, and I know for a fact that things will turn around pretty soon. It's just a matter of time. They're trying hard, and probably a little bit too hard, and that's probably the reason we're not scoring. Plus, we're facing pretty good pitchers every time I pitch.
Mm-hmm. But it does put you in a situation where you see a fluke played like the one that started the ninth, the bad bounce off the lip of the infield, and I mean, you have to be thinking, uh-oh, is this the kind of thing that could be potentially a big problem? I guess you're good enough you can cover up for those bad bounces.
Well, I just, leave it in God's hand. I know that if it's meant to happen, it will happen. And, those are things that those are tests for your mind, and that's how I take it. I think it's a test, and I got to pass it, and that's what I did.
Well, you got an A+ today, Pedro. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Pedro Martinez. It's a test. He's a pretty good student.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
And Pedro walks off, and the fans still lingering to give him one more rousing send-off. We'll come back with more from Fenway Park right after this.